The ideal that gets sold to us is that friends are the family you choose and those ties last forever. The reality? Not so much.
The average person lets go of half of their friends every 6 years.
And Park Place Payments founder Samantha Edis says that's okay.
Our circumstances change, we change as people, and so it's natural to shed some relationships.
And if you have big goals for your health, happiness, and achievement, you should be intentional about whom you admit into your inner circle.
If you look at people who are reaching their potential, they're very deliberate about how they spend their time and with who.
We're running down how to curate your crowd, and first things first, you're going to have to unlearn some childhood lessons.
From a very young age, we are taught that we have to always be nice, we have to include everyone, but that's actually not practical advice.
Whoever said everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten is an idiot. Why is my mortgage a crayon drawing of a giraffe?
It's important to allow yourself permission to say, this relationship is actually harming me, or this friendship is actually really toxic, and I need to let some other people in.
And if the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that our close group of contacts is no longer confined by geography.
It used to be that our daily interactions were with the people in our neighborhood, or at school drop-off, or at work.
But wide adoption of technology means we can build a global village.
Now we realize that a lot of our interactions take place online, or on the phone, or in social media. So it's an opportunity for you to say, I can invest as much in that relationship with my friend across the country as my friend in the neighborhood.
And let's be blunt, if we're talking about curating your crowd, that means taking a hard look at your friends.
There are certain friends that are really there for you when things are going wrong. But when things are going right, they have a hard time rooting for you or being happy for you.
Sometimes being the shoulder to cry on is the easy part.
It's just as important to have friends who are rooting for your success as it is to have friends who are there for you to rely on when things aren't going well. We're talking no jealousy, just pom-poms.
Next, think of your friends as your personal board of advisors. Even someone as successful as Samantha isn't great at everything, so
I'm constantly saying, I don't know this, please help.
And since asking for help makes us all feel a little bit vulnerable, it's great to start with friends you trust.
You might have a friend whose parenting you really admire and you go to them for parenting advice. You might have a friend who's great with negotiations and you go to them for advice when you're accepting a new position and want to negotiate. You want to have different friends who are good at different things.
Just remember to reciprocate.
You don't want to be someone who's always taking, so you want to offer advice up in spades with no strings attached.
Finally, just like you make stretch goals, make sure you have friends that push you further too.
You do not want to be the best player on the court.
In sports, you always hear about teams playing up or down to the level of competition, so get friends who will inspire you to level up.
If you are in a group of people who have no ambition or not a lot of goals, it's really hard to be that person who's super ambitious and super motivated to reach your goals.
Whereas supportive and ambitious friends can push you to new heights. Pushing yourself further by curating your crowd is at the top of the list.